This is Tehachapi. Welcome, sit back and relax as Key Budge and Corey Costello talk about things that are happening in and around Tehachapi. Now it's time for Key and Corey.
Welcome to another episode of Tehachapi, Key Budge, Corey Costello. Today we want to talk about things that are coming up in 2021, Corey.
Yeah, we can't promote events in 2020, but we can sure as heck try to promote them for 2021.
Well, why not look forward to things that we can do that are, I mean, if we go back the last 7-8 months, 6 months from now is not that far away.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so something to look forward to. And I think with what we're going to be talking about, there's some training involved.
Yeah.
So there's no better time to get yourself geared up, mentally shift, and start to prepare yourself. So what are we talking about? We're talking about this Calgonquin event that is going to be hosted on the TMTA trails out at Lehigh.
Yeah, April 17th, 2021 is the target date for that event. And it's certainly one of the ones that I think people it'll be new, but it will be something I think that folks are going to be pretty excited about.
And joining us today, we've got two gentlemen and possibly a third if he makes it in on our Zoom call here today. But today we have Brandon Griffiths, who is the president of the TMTA. Welcome, Brandon. Appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And Jason Swanson, our race coordinator for the Calgonquin. Did I say that right?
You did.
Excellent.
Hi, Key. Hi, Corey.
Hi, how are you guys?
Let's get started with TMTA before we get into the Ultra event. I've been out there at Lehigh a couple of times. The trail system continues to grow. You guys are working your tails off, volunteering out there, making that mountain a place, a destination.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, that's been our goal. So we've been working on the trails out there at the Lehigh land for about 6 years now. 2014 was the first year that we entered into a partnership with Lehigh, and they allowed the Tehachapi Mountain Trails Association to come out there and start building trails. The main driver how that kind of got off the ground was at the time the Tehachapi High School mountain bike team was also just getting off the ground, and they didn't have that many open areas in Tehachapi to be able to practice in order to get ready for the races. So the club secretary at the time, TMTA secretary, Brian Rails, he was the original Tehachapi High School Warriors mountain bike coach. He went to a city meeting and kind of pitched the plan for the high school mountain bike team. One of the Lehigh land managers was there in that meeting, and afterwards they had a discussion about it. Yeah, wouldn't it be great, with all this open land that Lehigh has, to be able to somehow open that up to allow the mountain bike team to come on the property and be able to use it for practices. So that a relationship just kind of blossomed from there. Tehachapi Mountain Trails Association, we were already up and running. We've been in an organization starting in 2008, and we're also a 501c3. We have our own membership base, paid memberships, as well as insurance. And that was really what was attractive with Lehigh. We were already an organization with our own insurance, our own bylaws, as well as membership base, to be able to partner with Lehigh to come onto their property and start building trails.
And something that came out of when you mentioned the high school team is that we have results. I mean, not just do we have a fantastic trail system, but that high school team has developed state champions.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
yes. Awesome teams.
So the youth here in our community definitely gravitated when you guys said, hey, okay, let's do it. And obviously with the parents' involvement, our culture here works hand in hand with that environment right there, what you guys have built, to the point that we actually have state champions in a sport.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we've had really good, input and volunteerism from the high school coaches, all of the parents of the teams, the kids. We organize at least a couple of trail maintenance and work days through the year, and the majority of our volunteers will be from the high school Warriors mountain bike team. So I always like to joke out there that when we have all the kids and their parents out there on the trails helping, we'd love to see that type of child slave labor out there digging.
So from the team kind of born this partnership, which then created the trails, which then created the trails membership, which you guys have, which folks can come in and pay a membership fee and be, go and utilize those trails, which have sparked other events like mountain bike championships. But then that's also got other people thinking, and this is kind of where Jason's world sort of comes in. It gets other people thinking about what other events can we do out on the Trails Association. So this is where the Calgonquin came in. Is that correct, Jason?
Exactly. So first, I just want to say, without TMTA and Lehigh, this event would not happen. A huge shout out to Brandon, Mike, AKA Digger, and all involved at the TMTA that has spent hours and hours out volunteering.
So what exactly, explain the Calgonquin 50K, 25K. Those are very large numbers that maybe lop one of them off and I might be involved. But what exactly is this event and what makes it so special and unique?
So the Calgonquin is the sister race to a race my brother started 5 years ago. In 2021 will be the 5th year of the Algonquin, named after some trails in Maryland. I've ran this race, helped my brother with some sponsorships, and every year, people from California run this race. They fly from California all the way out to run the Algonquin 50K. 2 years ago, some runners kept coming up to me and saying, "Hey, you live in California, let's do one in California." And we went out to the trails. My brother, Brett Swanson, co-race director, and I ran the trails. We absolutely loved them. We were at TK's Pizza eating, and Amy, who's on the board of TMTA, was sitting right behind us. We didn't know, and she came up and she goes, "Are you talking about Lehigh Trails, the trail?" We said, "Yes." She said, "Well, I'm on the board. We'd love for you to come and talk to the board." And the next week we talked to the board. And so from then, it just continued to grow. And we're very excited to be putting this race on.
Well, let's talk about these 25K and 50K. So those distances translate to what?
31 miles on the 50K.
Oh my goodness.
And
yeah. So what does 25K work out to? 15 miles?
and a half miles. Yeah.
My goodness.
Correct. You guys are right there.
Uphill, downhill, side hill, the whole nine, right?
It's a good thing this isn't televised because they'd know Corey and I are not trail runners.
Yeah, exactly.
we would be. It's been many years since we've ran a trail or two, but I've been out there. So, and I covered some of the high school mountain bike races a few years back. The trail system is fantastic for mountain biking, but for trail running, oh my God, people are going to have a great time out there. I mean, as long as they've trained for it, it's going to be challenging. And it's just beautiful.
It is gorgeous, and we chose April. I don't think there could have been there can be a better time in the year to run the Lehigh trails than April. It could be a little chilly. We possibly could have some snowflakes up there on the mountain, but I think it's going to be gorgeous as far as green and nice, cool weather, which runners love.
So you kind of led me to my next question. So this is we don't know what April holds in Tehachapi, right? It could be spring. It could still feel like winter. We just don't know. So this is kind of a all weather permitted, right? I mean, this is gonna go on rain or shine.
Exactly. Snow, rain, sleet, cold. Nothing's gonna stop us from holding the weather-wise from stopping this event.
All right.
Unless there's a force majeure where, EMT or others cannot come to the event, which is highly unlikely.
Sure.
Now, Tehachapi is now known. We've got obviously the high school mountain bike team that has been so successful. We've had the Grand Fondo, and that has been a big draw internationally. And I understand this also has not just locals that are going to be participating in this event.
Correct. As of yesterday, actually the number's gone up. We've had 3 people register today. So we're at 116 runners. 19 states are represented.
Nice.
Which is just amazing. 58% are female, 42% are male. and 48 are signed up for the 25K, and 65 are signed up for the 50K.
Wow.
So when we get into the 50K, you've got some time limits that are going to be out on the course and some things like that. So if there's someone that maybe is a distance runner that's listening to this, but like for me, I'm not very familiar with the ultra format. Tell us, break down some of that. If someone's training, they go, hey, I might be able to do the 25K, or I want to train for the 50K as a goal. What kind of time limits are we looking at for a slow guy like me?
So the 50K is going to start at 6:30 a.m. and the cutoff is going to be 12 hours. So runners, walkers, hikers have 12 hours to get through the 31-ish 50K time, which they would have to stay on average at around a 23-minute mile throughout their run to get back in time to be done in time in the 12 hours. On the 25K, you got a little bit more time. That's going to start at 7 a.m. and it's going to end at 6:30 p.m. So runners have 11 and a half hours to do 25K. And that comes out to 44-minute mile.
It's about my regular mile time anyway, 44 minutes. It's about average.
The Algonquin in Maryland doesn't have the 25K option. And we wanted the 25K to be, so this could be open to all. Really, anyone that's a hiker or even just a walker can get out and spend a day walking the trails and visiting the aid stations.
Nice. Now, Brandon, when you all started this sort of this trail system and getting everything going, you have to be pretty impressed. And did you ever imagine that you would have other events and people that looked at and are seeing your trails as kind of a destination? I mean, is this kind of blowing your mind that stuff like this and events like Calgonquins are, coming to you saying, we want to do something on your trail system?
It is blowing my mind, but this is what we had in mind when we first started from the original, just the entry trails that we were starting to build. We knew, being California, Southern California, if we had trails, you can use them pretty much all year long. And there's huge, base of mountain bikers and trail runners and hikers in California in general. So we knew if you build it, they will come. Nice. So from the get-go, we were really hoping our trails would start to attract, more events like this. So we're really happy that they're starting to do that, starting to attract a lot more diverse trail user base, not only mountain biking, which is kind of where it started, but hiking and running. And, we're real excited about this Calgonquin event.
Now the trail system, is it 100% on Lehigh land? So it's all on private property? Pretty much. We do use a city easement where the parking lot is off of Denison Avenue, and then a city easement to get over to the Lehigh property. And then from there, it's 100% Lehigh land. Anyone that wants to use it needs to be a member of the TMTA or go with possibly as a guest?
Yeah.
Or?
So you either have to be a member, which is $35 a year for a family of four, so pretty affordable. Or we do offer $5 day passes for folks that just want to come and check it out for the day, or out of towners that are just passing through.
And where do people go if they want to get more information on that? Either whether they want to get the family membership or the day pass, where can we send them for that information?
You can either find us on Facebook, Tehachapi Mountain Trails Association, or you can also go to our website at tehachapitrails.com. And from there, you can find the links to pay the membership or the $5 day pass.
Excellent.
It blows my mind. Like, as Americans, we do a very good job of inventing sports. We take stuff that other people do and we, like cricket and turn it into baseball and, rugby and turning into American football, all this kind of stuff. But this Calgonquin and this sort of trail running idea is this kind of like, this is sort of a mashup of it's to me, it sounds like obviously part running, part cross country and hiking all sort of rolled into one. So how does somebody train for something like this?
Yeah, there's lots of training plans online that you can pull up. You just Google 50K training plans. Typically it's 3 to 4 months to get into shape for someone that's in relatively good shape and hit the trails. When I do a 50K or something that's longer and I've got some elevation, I'm hiking up most of the time the inclines and then running down the downs. So you hike up and run down. My brother and I just recently did the Wonderland Trail, which is run around 193 to 100 miles around Mount Rainier. And every time we were going up the hills, we were hiking, but we were running down the downhills.
Wow.
And that's what I would suggest for people is if they're interested in this race, Google online and look at some training plans and start preparing. We've got plenty of time. It's 5 months, 26 days, 15 hours, and 50 some minutes away. And who's counting, right?
Right.
But it's seriously, it's an achievable goal for almost anyone, especially to 25K to start training.
How does the altitude factor in? I mean, you brought that up, and we're, you're going to be over 4,000. I know this, the Tehachapi Summit sits basically right about where the trails start, and you're looking at 4,000 and change there. And then, there's some a couple hundred feet elevation changes going into the trails. So how does the elevation factor into, training and even performance on race day?
Yeah, for those that are at zero or at zero elevation, it's going to be a little bit tougher. And so they might want to find some places that maybe they can train at higher elevation to get used to the elevation that'll be involved. So they'll be starting at around 4,000 feet at the start and go up to the top, which is around 1,500 climb to the top. Brandon would know exactly probably. Yeah. And then come down. And so at that time, they're going to be at around 5,500 feet of elevation. So we suggest that they find some place that they can, they can train at that elevation to get accustomed to it.
Yeah, come on up to our mountain park, and you can hike up there and run up the mountain park and get higher than that elevation.
Sure, but if you're local, you can just get a membership with TMTA and use the trails and utilize those and sort of get a sneak preview on the run itself.
I'll tell you that my wife and I used to race mountain bikes. But when we did, we were flatlanders. Okay, we were down, sea level down in the LA basin. And the first race I did in Big Bear, okay, didn't do anything to acclimate. Just get out, okay. We'd done our training, got on the starting line there at Snow Summit. Boom, we're off, and I want to get out in front. I want to get up. I want to start that climb, and I blew a lung. I mean, I had not acclimated. Oh my God, I did not think about elevation. Boy.
Yeah. No, it's obviously a thing. I mean, that's why you see boxers, they go to Big Bear to train before a match because they want that altitude. So Tehachapi's got that going, I guess.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, just brought back a memory talking about that. Wasn't a good one. But so Jason, if people want to sign up, where do we want to send them to sign up for the Calgonquin 50K or 25K?
For those listening, you can go to ultrasignup.com. And in the search bar, type in the Calgonquin. So that's CALGONQUIN. And maybe in the show notes or the episode notes, you can have the link to go directly to that site. That's going to be the easiest way.
Now, I know you can't put on a race like this without support, whether it be from businesses, volunteers. Are there things that you're still looking for, or, besides Lehigh and TMTA stepping up, has anyone else locally stepped up to say, hey, we want to be a part of this event? Or what are you looking for to get it done?
This event cannot be a success without the help from local businesses and organizations. We've reached out to several businesses like BSE Rentals is providing a water buffalo to go up and down the trail so they can, wet down the part where people are going to drive, not where people are going to run. Tehachapi Lawn and Garden is providing a generator so that we're out there. There's no power, there's no water. Got to love Carlos at Carlos Donuts. He's providing donuts at the start and at the aid stations. And then Lassen's Foods is providing food at all the aid stations. And we're going to have these runners, hikers, walkers stocked up, keep them fueled through the 25 or the 50K. But any local business that wants to help, I'd be happy to chat with them and see if there's a win-win, a fit that we can help them, or they can help us.
And how can they get a hold of you?
To make this they can reach out to me. My cell is 213-810-0365, or email is jason.swanson@alqultras.org.
Now, Brandon, with this event coming on, you guys have hosted like I said, the high school mountain bike championship. Is there anything else that's coming up in the future, or what are you guys looking forward to as 2021 gets closer and we get through this COVID?
Yep. So yeah, COVID dependent. We've got some, the Calgonquin for April. We've also in 2020 we were supposed to have a big mountain biking event in April, but that got canceled right when COVID hit. But Team Big Bear runs a Southern California mountain biking cross country and enduro race series. So we're hoping to be able to get on their list again for this April. We'll work it out with the Calgonquin schedule. But then in May, we're supposed to have or host the next Southern California High School Mountain Biking Championships, just like we've done for the past 3 years. So those will be our couple of big events in April and May coming up that we're looking forward to.
Are you looking for any volunteers in the organization, or, as far as I know, obviously we've got the family plans. Is there anything that TMTA is looking for here in the community of people, as we get constantly seeing we've got moving trucks coming in and new folks are moving into the area that are, just getting introduced to TMTA?
Oh yeah, definitely. We're always looking for more volunteers to come out and help us maintain the trails, make improvements to the trails, build new trails. We typically host once a month an organized trail dig day, and that's kind of led by our trail boss Mike McCool. Mike's out there almost every afternoon. If he's not on his bike, he's digging new trails. So if you can get in touch with Mike, also he'll take you out there pretty much any afternoon you'd want. But yeah, we're always looking for more volunteers. These trails, they don't build themselves. It takes a team of folks to go out there and maintain and build these new trails. We're all volunteers. Also, nobody's getting paid. We just do it as a labor of love. So if we want to see improvements and more trails, we definitely have to get more volunteers to come out and lend a hand. It's such an honor to be able to work on trails, build trails that are going to be there for generations to be able to enjoy. And then once you put work into a trail and then you're out there, riding that trail or running along it and you see other people enjoying it, it's just gives you such a gratifying feeling to be able to, give back to the community like that. So, yeah, we definitely encourage folks to come out and help us out.
And these events do have a benefit to the community because we do see a bump for our restaurants. We see a bump for our hotels, the gas that's purchased, other support in other stores, whether they're camping, they're maybe buying some of the food supplies in the grocery stores, but they are out. We see them around town. We see the bike racks. So these events do bring in people that benefit the community as well. These are local businesses. So, I know it's important to recognize that as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So Jason, anything you want to, as we kind of start to wrap things up, any final thoughts or things that you'd like to share that we didn't talk about?
Yeah, I'd like to mention the aid stations. Each one of these aid stations are going to be stocked with water, stocked with an electrolyte called Tailwind, potato chips, other salty things, boiled potatoes with salt, sweets like Skittles, M&Ms, gummy bears, and pickle juice, which actually helps with cramps, bananas, oranges, and other fruit. And if it's cold outside, we're going to have some chicken broth available, kind of keep those runners, hikers warmed up. And like I mentioned, Carlos's Donuts. But each one of these aid stations are crucial for the success of the event. We have one of the aid stations is going to be run by a bunch of local teachers. One of the aid stations is going to be run by TMTA. Exciting for them to be there. Also, Flex It Pink. But we're looking for a couple more organizations that be interested in being aid station captains and kind of running an aid station, kind of motivating those runners or hikers to push on through and to finish with their goal. Some of the aid stations cook quesadillas and sliders and other things, and they make it really a fun. And it's what makes the Calgonquin such a fun event is the aid stations, the people that are out there that are kind of pushing those runners and hikers along.
And I think that's one thing the Gran Fondo gets complimented on is the fact that the aid stations are just, the locals are so enthusiastic and encouraging, and people come in there and go, oh my God, your aid station was just like, I didn't want to leave it, And so you're absolutely right. And the other thing that jumped out to me right there when you're talking about like gummies and different things, an ultra, you need different things to get through versus just the maybe the orange juice or the piece of banana you might get on a 5 or 10K. This is something else that your body's requiring, different kinds of nutrients to get through 15 or 30 miles.
Absolutely. You got to stay fueled. You've got to eat. I mean, there's going to be a couple runners that are going to just blow through the aid stations. They might grab a water. They might grab a cup of tailwind and keep rolling. They're the elite. They're the professionals. the me's and the others that are out there going to stop in there. They're going to have to get fueled up and get going. But you're absolutely right when you meant about the hanging around at the aid station. Sometimes the aid station captains are like, come on, move along. You've been here 15 minutes. Keep going. Otherwise, you start hanging around and you're not going to complete it in time. So,
excellent. It sounds like
we got
fun.
to keep the runners fed, fueled up, but also get them out of there also as quickly as possible.
Good. And Jason, one more time, let's throw out the information. If people want to sign up, get more information, where do they want to go?
Sure. So the website is ultrasignup.com. Then in the search bar, they would type the Calgonquin.
Great. They probably even could throw in Tehachapi if they forget how to spell Calgonquin.
Absolutely. You can search by city as well.
Excellent. Brandon, as far as TMTA, anything else that you want to mention, something that we didn't talk about or just bring up, because you guys are such a great organization here in the community. I don't think you get enough credit for the things that you do, especially for our youth.
Yeah, thank you. If folks are interested, come on out, check out the trails. Look us up on Facebook or at our website, Tehachapimountaintrails.com. If you're just looking to try out the trails, it's a $5 day pass to go check them out. If you're going to be on a bike, helmets are required to be out on the Lehigh land like that. Follow the posted rules. We're trying to take care of the land out there, so stay on all the posted trails and get out there and enjoy the trail. It's beautiful land. It's such an opportunity for us to be able to have that these type of trails and to access portions of the area that prior to all this, it was all private property. Nobody could get to it. So nice. Keep it going.
Well, Brandon Griffiths with the Tehachapi Mountain Trails Association, and we have Jason Swanson, who is our race coordinator for the Calgonquin. It's going to be on April the 17th. Is that right? April 17th, 2021. Guys, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate the time, and we'll have to, as maybe we get closer to the event or maybe right afterwards, we can talk about it, because I'm sure there's going to be some stories to tell from that Saturday up on the mountain.
Oh, there will be.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Key and Corey.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Calgonquin 2021, Corey.
30 some odd miles up and down, 15 some odd miles up and down. This goes back to what I mentioned. I mean, we just invent stuff to do in this country. We're just like, let's mash. Okay, cross country running is cool and hiking is cool, and I don't know, let's time it and run through the hills. I mean, this is what we do, right? We see this everywhere. It's crazy, and this has got the next machination of that, so to speak.
Yeah, when a 5K is not good enough, a 10K is not good enough. Yeah, let's do a
right.
And it's like we could take those 5 and 10Ks into the hillside. Nah, not enough.
Right,
not enough
right.
challenge.
Right, we want to go up 1,500 feet.
Okay, God bless you for doing it.
Yeah,
and I want to hear. If anyone has done one of these events besides Jason, shoot us an email. Tell us what it was like. I'd love to hear about it.
And what the training is like for something like that, because again, you're dealing with so many different disciplines, right? You're running, you're hiking, I'm sure footwear is super important. You just can't just throw on any pair of running shoes because you've got trail systems involved. So anyway, it's kind of fascinating. But these events, and I know you touched on it, but these events are big just in terms of, especially the outdoor events, they're big in terms of tourism to the area. They're big with just getting people to come to Tehachapi. And I know the TMTA trails. I mean, I know a few other like city managers in Kern County that are members of TMTA, and because they come up here to mountain bike because of the trail system that we have and stuff. So it's very cool. And then to see those two kind of blend together and create an event outside of just mountain biking and add this trail running piece to it is very cool. And that's a big push. And I think honestly, come April, we're going to be looking for that kind of stuff. We're going to want to bring that tourism back, and these events certainly help do that.
For sure. And I've been out on the Lehigh course. I covered one of the high school championships, went out and shot some photos and did a little videography out there. And I didn't get too far because I was on foot,
Yeah.
but I walked up the hillside, and man, the trails are as good as I've seen anywhere.
Yeah.
And my wife and I used to race mountain bikes and do triathlons 20 years ago. And I would put these up against any of the places that we went in the Western United States to race.
Sure.
It's just, these guys do a phenomenal job at TMTA and the maintenance of this course. And I mean, great for Lehigh you think about corporate America today, and they're like, sorry, we're checking out.
Right.
And they checked in.
Sure.
And participate and be active. And I think they even have like their own bike team out there. And so good for them. And as our community continues to grow with recreational sports.
Yeah, and you can even access, if you do have the Visit Tehachapi app on your phone, you can access, when it comes to cycling, not only all the Gran Fondo road courses. There's a set of other rides that were developed by some locals that are available on that app. And then the Lehigh Trail System is available on that app too. So you can actually take that with you and kind of download it so you have an access, while you're on the trails, even if you don't have internet service. So that's in there. You can check it out and see. And it's a pretty extensive network. Outside of what you would normally see at a ski resort in the summertime, Mammoth or something like that. You brought up out in Big Bear, they have kind of mountain bikes, but they just follow the routes that they normally follow, in the snow ski season. This is exclusively for mountain bikes. sans the lift. You got to get up there, but it's pretty gradual, and it gets you to the top, and then you have fun coming down.
Yeah, this is something I think will be, obviously I think he said 250 runners is the goal.
Yeah.
So that'll be nice. It'll be a fun, it is a spectator sport. When people start running downhill, on single track, it definitely, there's probably some corners there that, if here with your Halloween contact sport that you're going to have for handing out Halloween, you might pick a corner with a cowbell and start, and encouraging them to come in hot into this corner.
Can I get numbers and rate the wipeouts? Can I do an aid station right by at the bottom of a downhill?
I know, we probably shouldn't joke, Jason. Sorry about that, but it's definitely going to be a beautiful place if you want to be a spectator to go up and check out.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun to see. I know you talked about covering a mountain bike championship, as a reporter, and many moons ago when I was a young stringer, I got kind of sent to random sports, and I'm like, what is this? I have no idea what it even was, but it's fun. You do actually kind of get to know a little bit something different, a subculture, so to speak, and I think I did it was like a Bakersfield City golf championship, in the early 2000s. And it was one of the best assignments ever because for 2 days I just rode around in a golf cart and talked to golfers and hung out in a clubhouse. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool, covering golf, and you get to know a different subculture of sports.
Well, going back like 15, 16 years ago, my son was into skateboarding, and we went to the X Games when it was at Staples Center. Yeah. And that's when I really got introduced to the extreme games. Yeah. And then ESPN obviously picking it up just has blown some of these sports out of the water. But mountain biking and the things that they can do with cross country and cyclocross and some of the downhill, it's amazing. But you're right, it is another. But this generation, that's what they know.
Sure,
that's what they're into. We were into baseball, football, basketball. Right. This generation has all these other extreme alternative sports to go along with those old traditional ones.
And you have the media coverage that we didn't have, right? People followed traditional stick and ball sports because that is what was on TV. And then the internet obviously opened that up. And so now you've got so much a specialized niche marketing for all these different sports, including, these ultra marathons, these Calgonquin style events. You find that there is a huge online following and culture and media that backs these things, and that's where the interest is at. So that's kind of why that's changed a little bit. And then, like I said, these events benefit us, in the long run here in Tehachapi.
Well, looking forward to it. It's April 17th, and if you want information, TMTA, they've got TehachapiTrails.com plus the TMTA Facebook page. Calgonquin, you can sign up at ultrasignup.com and then search Calgonquin or Tehachapi for that April 17th event. Something that from the last episode, we were talking about things that have gone on and awards. We forgot to talk about Tiffany Ray.
Oh, yeah. No big deal. She's just Miss United States.
United States.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. And I saw Tiffany today and congratulated her. And she goes, yeah, it hasn't sunk in yet.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So congratulations to Tiffany.
Yeah.
And the work that she's put in. I think she was in Florida for that competition. So,
Yep.
you know, she was Miss California, USA, and then off to Miss United States competition. So
crazy, and now she come back to work here.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
It's, you know, it's not, you don't make a living doing it. You obviously, and so she's got so many, and we talked to her and how many career aspirations she has. This is just kind of a stepping stone for her, the pageantry world. And so pretty cool that she brought that title back to Tehachapi specifically, you know, let alone not just our office, but, you know, and Tehachapi in general was awesome.
You got to give me credit for this. I asked her, I said, so did you need a bigger caboodle?
Ah, nice. You dropped the caboodle. Perfect.
I did.
I think she does. That crown is huge.
She said they had to go buy a new one so they could bring it back.
I mean, I've only seen
Florida.
a bigger crown on the Statue of Liberty. That thing is gigantic that they put on her. So good for her.
Yes. Congratulations, Tiffany. If you're listening, we wanted to acknowledge you, and sorry we didn't do it sooner, but saw you in the office today, and I was like, oh, okay, got to make sure we remember to pass on, and I'm sure people already know, but
and she's gonna have events coming up here in Tehachapi and stuff, so it's cool. It's a big bump for the community. I'm so excited for her and for Tehachapi in general.
We've got lots of things coming up, lots of things on the agenda to talk about as far as different episodes, but we'd love to hear from you. Give us an email and just give us a suggestion. And we'd love to get that, and let's see if we can go with it. We've got a couple that are coming up. One is a local Tehachapi girl that's got her own comic book that she's designed, and that's about to debut. And we'll have Seda Wolf featured on one of our upcoming podcasts, so that's pretty exciting. Send us that email at media@TehachapiCityHall.com. And let's see what else is going on in the community that we can talk about.
Yeah, even just interesting people and stuff like that. I mean, that's a great story to, there's so many things happening and people are doing interesting stuff like Tiffany doing Miss United States, right? I mean, that's, but those are the types of things that are happening behind the scenes, so to speak, and out in the community that we would love to help promote and just talk about, because that just brings positive exposure to our community.
And, we've got a Veterans Day special that's coming up. We'll have Senator Shannon Grove, who is a veteran that will be on the show. We've gone out and talked to some veterans here in Tehachapi, and I thought it was pretty cool. We actually had a birthday party, a parade party for a World War II veteran that lives here in Tehachapi, 95-year-old Robert Henderson.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. So with our vets and Veterans Day around the corner, we just want to acknowledge them. So then we'll do that in a special show in the coming weeks.
Awesome.
Folks, again, media@TehachapiCityHall.com. We'd love to hear from you. And we just appreciate the time that you spend with us. And remember, if you like the show, give us a nice review.
And subscribe. Subscribe to the show, more importantly. The review can be bad. As long as you subscribe to the show, we're good. We'll call it even.
All right. We'll catch you on another episode of Tehachapod.
Tehachapod is a conversation about Tehachapi designed for the people who live here or who would like to know more about this mountaintop community. If you have a question you would like answered, email media@TehachapiCityHall.com. We will try to answer it on a future episode of Tehachapod.